This week on Split Screen, Mainers you know. Meredith, Jeff, and Lori, the popular trio who make up the Q Morning Show, dishes about life on and off the airwaves. And he produces a TV show about Maine, starring Mainers, and it is a ratings hit. We'll introduce you to the executive producer of Northwoods Law, Devin Platt, a Mainer you should know. Welcome to Split Screen. I'm Shannon Moss. For more than a decade, Mainers have been waking up to Meredith Manning, Jeff Parsons, and Lori Voornas, the popular morning show hosts of Q97.9. They are undeniably authentic, funny, and have a knack for seizing the moment.
I don't get the cranberry sauce.
But you can have the cranberry sauce.
No, you do.
No, he's got a big job.
Are you guys already rolling?
Of course they are. Of course they are.
All right, so is this something you guys do, all the time? Hanging out, cooking Thanksgiving dinner together?
Never. Let me see. Yeah, first time ever that this is happening.
We take it as a day to avoid each other, usually. So, because we're together so often.
Exactly. How long have you guys? Gross. Spent together. How long has it been?
We're working on 12 years now. We're going into our 12th year together.
So they say after 7 years in a regular relationship, you're good, right?
That's right.
So I guess it means that we're in for the long haul.
So what is it like working together? I mean, it seems like I know you guys have very different personalities, but
Yeah, that's to say the least.
but you mesh so well. I mean, you're the hottest radio show, hit radio show out there.
You know why?
Why?
Because we would never do this on a regular basis. So we have we're all so different, and our lives are so different that it just sort of works. What am I doing?
There's something else we don't normally do, apparently.
Oh, okay. All right. So they've got stuff shoved in every hole of this turkey.
Yeah, you have to take the innards out of the turkey. My first turkey I ever cooked, I had the innards still in it.
Oh,
so
no.
embarrassing.
Oh.
Yeah, but to elaborate on that, I would have to agree. We're just normal, everyday people that somehow wound up in a job where we get to talk every day to people, and we are all totally different, completely different, but for some reason it just sort of worked.
I like the way you started
no
that
idea.
with the normal everyday people. I don't think that
Well, that's because
actually
normal
applies.
everyday people are weird.
Yeah,
We all
okay.
are.
I mean, maybe.
I need a spoon. Lori, spoon.
Oh, good job, Shannon.
Oh, you know your way around the kitchen. That's pretty good.
So what is it like to be an open book? Because all of you guys are on the radio, right? There's not much people don't know about what goes on
Nowadays, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. Are you guys pretty much yourselves on the air, or are there elements that people don't really know?
I'm just as
about
grumpy at home as I am on the air. Absolutely, not different at all.
It's true. I think it's great. I mean, I think that's why people like us so much, is because they think they feel like they know us, like we're friends of theirs.
Yeah, that's the weirdest part, when someone comes up to you and they say something like, hey, I do the same thing. I did that once too, and I remember when you did this, and you'll be like, I don't remember what the hell they're talking about.
But it's you know what? It's the best job in the whole wide world. My parents wish I was a secretary, but it's the only job where I get to be me, a giant goofball, and it's okay. You know what I mean?
And get paid for it.
Get paid for it.
Even better.
Microwave.
Is there any subject that's taboo, though? Do you feel like there's something that you
Not
haven't
for me.
said?
I'm the one with no filter.
You're the one with no filter. Right.
Yeah,
These
Meredith's the
two-
one that has no filter, that's for sure.
These two are a little more classy than I am.
Not classy by any stretch of the imagination, but thank you.
But you'll take the compliment.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's a compliment?
Gosh, I guess if you get super personal, because I have a family, and I don't want to get too revealing.
You got to keep some things.
You got to keep some things.
I have a family, but I don't care. I still get revealing.
But that's good. So you're the one without the filter. You're the grumpy, the geek, right?
I'm the geek. I like all the things like technology and video games, and I talk about things that these two have absolutely no clue about, and they tend to talk about girl things that I have no clue about, so it all evens out in the end.
Or don't probably want to know about either.
I have no desire to know about that stuff.
That's the case.
And are you like the glue that holds it all together?
Yeah, they call me Castro. Apparently I'm bossy.
Apparently.
Meredith, don't turn that so high.
See? Did you see how I jumped to turn it down?
I'm totally kidding.
Or the fatigues.
Meredith! I have told you many, many times.
All right, so is there anything that people don't know about you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That you
lot.
can share with us, that's PG-13.
Yes. I'm actually, no kidding, you wouldn't know it, but I'm actually pretty shy. In like social situations, I'm kind of a shy person.
Really?
Yeah.
Me too.
Oh, Lori.
You know what's
You are
funny?
too? Is that, yeah?
I feel much better talking on stage to a crowd of a bunch of people than one-on-one with somebody.
Not me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but socially, I'm awkward. It's probably the nerd in me. But put me on stage or put me in front of a camera, and I'm great.
But that's interesting, Jeff, because that's usually such the opposite for people. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Oh.
the panic people feel when they're in front of all these people, and that doesn't bother you at
No,
all?
not at all. Not at all. Because they're there, I'm here, and I'm not up close and personal. You know, I don't have to like.
Even though they're all staring at you like
Yeah,
this?
it's kind of like I'm in the personality mode at that point, and as opposed to I've got to be personal. You know,
Right.
I have a harder time that way.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
Meredith.
fine with you though. You're good.
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks. Because we've known each other for a while.
There you go.
So, and Meredith, you didn't tell me what was the one thing people don't know about you. Because you do have no filter.
I think that sometimes I get really lonely.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I have all these people around me that I really care about and I love and everything, but I feel like sometimes I'm just not understood. Sometimes I feel like that.
You're doing that just for the attention, Jeff.
Yeah, I think so.
okay.
Yeah.
She's well, you
Nobody
can.
understands me.
You'll know that I'm not because he would never give me any attention. Yeah, sometimes I feel kind of misunderstood. You know, I guess it kind of goes along with the same thing Lori said. I think it's weird that we're in a job that an extrovert would be in and we tend to be shy. Because I definitely am that way too. I'm opposite of Jeff though. He's so good on stage. You're great on stage. I feel like I'm gonna die on stage.
She's on meds right now.
I do. I get so nervous, and they're so great at that. So it's kind of nice to have three of us to sort of make up for the other one's malfunctions.
Here, let me, Meredith.
Thank you.
Nice.
That looks very cool, by the way.
That does look cool. She's been talking about this thing
That's
for
very
years,
neat.
and I've been dying to have it.
This
Who
is
knew
her
I just
way
had
of
it?
getting
I
it
know.
There you go.
Who knew I just had to get you guys over to make me dinner?
And I don't room for the turkey, but
We'll get to that in a minute. Yeah. Again, you guys are staying for 3 days, right?
when we come back, while they easily find the humor in most things, Meredith, Jeff, and Lori know from experience they have a lot to be thankful for. Obviously, the show is funny, you guys. Talk a lot about what's going on in your lives, and you've had a lot of things that have gone on in your lives. I know. Each one of you, I think, has had some really big things that have happened.
Oh God, I need more pie. Yeah, I went through a divorce on the air, which was really hard. But I almost found it a little bit therapeutic, coming out on the air and saying that I'm going through this divorce and it's really hard, and I cried, and then I made Lori cry, and Jeff just went, "Oh, I'm sorry."
That awkward, I don't know what to do moment.
It was a very awkward moment, but I felt like there's probably a lot of listeners that are going through the same thing. And if I can somehow make them feel a little bit like they're not the only one in the world that has this happen to, that maybe, that's a good way to relate to them. And I got so many great emails from people saying it's going to be okay. Because even when you want a divorce, it's hard. It stinks. I mean, you're totally disrupting your lifestyle. You're changing everything in your world. I mean, I was having panic attacks. It was horrible. And my life has changed, and it's fine, and I'm happy, and I'm in a good place now. But we've all been through something.
That's it.
Show.
And of course, Jeff, cancer.
Yes.
Cancer.
That's me. Yeah, that was kind of my mom. There are a couple things that happened on air. My mom had been diagnosed with lung cancer, and she passed away, and I shared a lot about that whole experience on air. And then a couple of years down the road, I managed to get the same thing, not lung cancer, but was diagnosed with cancer. Luckily mine, it's treatable. Everything's good. I'm still going through treatment and everything, but when I announced that, it kind of took these two by surprise. I can't remember exactly how I did it, but it was.
I think you just came out and
just
said,
came, hey, by the way, I have
pass
cancer.
the potatoes.
Yeah.
It was something like that.
And it was just, but the thing is like, I know it's you say, ooh, cancer, and it's an awful thing. And yes, it is, but I mean, I'm going to live a long life, and I'm being treated. So we made jokes about it. It's because, I mean, the way I said it is like, if you can't laugh about it, you're going to cry about it. So, concentrate on the fun stuff about it, and believe it or not, it's fun to kind of joke about it. Maybe not it's in everybody's taste, but to me, it helps me deal with it.
It makes me
joking.
uncomfortable
Yeah, the humor
when they
helps a
joke
lot.
about it,
It
though.
definitely does.
I get uncomfortable with that. I don't really.
I love it.
I sit and she'll be like, "Oh, I know you can't do it because you have cancer," or whatever. And I'll be like, "Oh my God, what are you talking about?"
And on top of that, but when I did announce that, it was amazing to see the amount of support that came from the listeners, because kind of like what Meredith was saying,
Right.
they're people that are there, but when you're talking into a microphone and it's just three of you in a studio, it is a whole different situation when they're reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, best of luck to you. I'm rooting for you. All will be well." I mean, it's just like that. You almost become part of their lives. I know it sounds so cliche, but you really do. It's almost like family to some people.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that, absolutely. And of course, you had a similar situation. Lots has changed in your life, going from a single gal.
Single gal to wife. Yeah, that's right. Shocker.
Wait, you got to tell them how you did it. Yeah. How you came out on the air.
I did. I came out on the air a couple years ago, right before I got married, because I thought, geez, if I don't come out on the air, these two are coming to my wedding, and I might want to talk about it. So I said, I just have something to say. I'm getting married this weekend, and that alone is a shock. And his name is Jen.
Classic.
So there's a couple things we got to cover right now. So yes, and you know what? And same thing that Jeff was just saying. The amount of support and the outpouring of comments and things, all positive, by the way, just a couple of negative things, was so amazing. And it truly is. I mean, the listeners out there, they help you. They got your back.
And you guys do a lot in the community. Cans for a Cure. Huge.
Well, it's the same kind of concept that we were talking about. Like, the listeners care about us, but we actually truly care about them too. And so that's why we do like Cans for a Cure for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, where we raised like over $25,000 and
just this year.
Just this year, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, we rely on them to. It's sort of like, we're helping them help them help them. Everybody gets together, and everybody knows somebody's dealing with cancer, and especially breast cancer. So it's the least we can do.
Yeah, to not shower and hang out in an RV in the Maymall parking lot.
Exactly.
Right?
And eat pie.
Best job in the world, guys?
Best?
Pretty close?
I don't know. Yours is pretty good.
Because I get to eat pie.
Yeah, and you don't have to clean up.
No,
That's really bad job.
Seriously, no, I really do think it is, for me anyway, the best job in the world. That and being a game show host. And I got that one too now recently.
That one too. That's right.
Shameless plug?
A little bit. Kickstart. Check it out on WPXT.
PXT, I love that station.
Do we all?
I mean, seriously, where else can you get paid for your opinion, and to be who you are on the air? I mean, it's so much fun. It's just, getting to meet people too that listen to you.
But for as long as you can do it, you'll do it, right?
Yeah, as long as they don't change the door code, we're going in.
There you go. Well, cheers to that.
Seriously, how it is. I'm not kidding. Every person that's been let go, they stop at the door and the code doesn't work.
Oh, don't forget, we wish them well in their future endeavors.
Well, Meredith, Jeff, and Lori don't know what the future holds. For now and for as long as they can, they'll continue to get up way too early to laugh, have fun, and keep their listeners guessing. For a fun fact, what is the one thing Meredith, Jeff, and Lori have in common? We'll tell you coming up after the show, but first, he's the executive producer of Animal Planet's hot new show, Northwoods Law. We'll introduce you to Devin Platt, a Mainer. Northwoods Law is a reality TV show that debuted in 2012 on Animal Planet. It was an instant hit, a show set in Maine, starring Mainers, made mostly by Mainers. Northwoods Law, huge success. Did you ever think?
We're off to a real good start, absolutely. Did you think? You hope, you know, but I guess when you've done this a few times, you know the odds are not necessarily in your favor. You know, a lot of pilots get made and not make it to a season 1, and a lot of season 1s don't go to a season 2. So you hope, your fingers are crossed. You go in always thinking this might be the one. So to have, you know, a season 2 in the can, looking at possibly a season 3, absolutely.
All right, now let's talk. So you are from California originally?
I am.
And now you are a Mainer.
I have been in Maine for about 10 years. I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Let's talk a little bit about talk about the background a little bit.
Okay, Los Angeles, California. That's kind of why I'm in showbiz, I guess. I got here 10 years ago. I came to do a job up in Eastport, Maine called Murder in Small Town X. And I met a girl, and
as the story goes.
As the story goes, I've been here ever since. So.
Wow. So when you got a call from Angle Entertainment, it was a great call, wasn't it?
A couple of years ago, 2 summers ago or so, I got a call. I was between jobs. You know, sometimes when you get the call, you're on a job. Sometimes you're between jobs, and they had a show idea for Maine. You know, this is a fledgling idea at the time, and they needed somebody to run it, and they couldn't believe that they maybe were calling a guy who could run shows that lived in Maine about their Maine show. And I said, sure, you know, we can talk about it. So we talked, and, you know, one thing led to another, and here we are going on 2.5 years later.
Wow. Now, when they gave you the idea, obviously you've been living in Maine, you knew about the game wardens here. Did you think, okay, this could be a big hit, this is interesting for people? Or not really? I mean, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, with every job that any of us do, there's a learning curve, you know. I am pretty selective about the projects I take on. If the content sounds interesting, it sounds like something I want to get into. Sure, I knew a little about the game wardens, but you immediately start cramming. You immediately start studying the cliff notes, whatever you can do. You talk to folks, you watch what you can, you read Paul Dworan's books, you know, you talk to John Ford, etc. So you, as quickly as possible, get up to speed on what these guys do so you can, you know, hold your own, and then as you go, obviously, you really learn, you know, how to do it.
Devin, what do you think it is for the viewers? It's almost like a cult following with Northwoods Law. Is it the mystique of Maine? Is it the wardens and sort of wildlife, like cops and wildlife together? What do you think it is?
I think it's all those things. I think at our heart, we're a ride-along cop show, and that's not new. You know, we're not reinventing the genre there. What we're just trying to do is do it a little bit different and a little bit better in a place folks haven't been super exposed to. There's a lot of shows about Alaska right now. You know, it's kind of, you know, been there, done that, right? I mean, not a lot of shows about Maine have been made. So at our heart, we focus on the wardens, but we're also making a show about Maine at the same time, and we're lucky that not too many folks have done that so far. So I'm not going to say it's easy because of that, but, you know, it's fun to make a show where the wardens are our chief character, but the state of Maine is also one of our characters as well.
I've been a game warden 17 years now, mostly in southern Maine.
What do you love about the job? What have you always loved about being a game warden?
Well, you know, it's something different every day. And, you know, I've heard an old game warden say one time that when you reach the end of your driveway, you can either take a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn. And that still holds true, I think, for the job today. And that really makes it exciting as to what's going to happen today, or what project are we going to get into. And it's sometimes it can be a surprise, and other times it can just be run-of-the-mill.
And was it a surprise when all of a sudden you found out you guys are going to be featured in a television series called Northwoods Law? It was
quite a surprise, and I really didn't believe it at first. You know, I heard about it, and you thought, oh yeah, okay, what? And then it went to some sort of preliminary audition type of thing, now we do actually the wardens that have been on the show have been recognized in places not only locally and in Maine, but throughout the country. We had one game warden who took a trip to Florida. He was in an airport and somebody picked him out. And he wasn't in uniform. He was, in, you know, obviously in his travel clothes. But so that's always an interesting aspect to that.
Now, also, you guys don't get any money for this. It's not like you're paid. But what does it do? Is it a great education tool for people not only in Maine but outside of Maine of what you guys do?
I really look at this program as a documentary series, and in the beginning I was a little concerned that it was going to have a little too much of a reality TV twist to it, and it made me concerned as to whether I wanted to be involved. But what I've seen is something that is really documentary-like. And I was just thinking of it the other day. If somebody 50 years from now was doing a paper on fish and wildlife law enforcement and game wardens, they could review these films from this time, because I think it's accurate. I think they've done a very good job. And I do think that it accurately reflects the day-to-day work that game wardens do.
Talk about some of the adventures you've had. You guys have seen all sorts of different things. Talk about that.
We have. It's been an action-packed couple of years. We shoot year-round. We started in the winter, and we've shot in all 4 seasons now. Some of the things we do are little bitty dispatch calls where the warden will get a phone call or a call from dispatch about something that needs doing. As a matter of fact, there's a baby moose here at the Maine Wildlife Park that Warden McCabe had to rescue from the side of the road, put in his truck and bring down here. So some of it is very quick like that, and some of it's longer and more serious. Things like 3 snowmobilers to the ice in Rangeley Lake, or the Appalachian Trail search that folks may see later this season. So yeah, they come in all shapes and sizes, our adventures.
They certainly do. And we're talking 1.3 million viewers. Is that true for the second?
We're averaging 1 million a week. Yeah, ish. That's an ish number, but we're above a 0.3 right now, which is pretty solid territory for a cable show.
Ratings records for Animal Planet?
We're helping. We're helping. What we've done is help Animal Planet go from, I think they were a cable network in the 40s up into the teens in the last couple of years. So they're very happy with the progress they've made as a network, and I think we've had something to do with that. We've been a part of that. There's a lot of big shows for them. We're a part of it.
And it must be so nice for you to be able to do what you love in a market where it's kind of tough in Maine to do what you do, but you're doing it right here in the state.
Absolutely. This is the first time that I've gone to work at home. And it's a big state. We're all over the state. But yeah, I haven't had to travel nearly as much. So.
Are you glad you were able to highlight something about Maine that so many people are just really loving and taking to heart?
Absolutely. I mean, I've learned a lot, delving into every nook and cranny in the state. And it's very, very nice, the positive feedback that we're getting, on the Facebook page, etc. Yeah, it's been really, really cool to see how much people are responding to the show in such a positive way.
And you hope it goes for as long as it possibly can, obviously.
We absolutely have enjoyed the 26 episodes so far, and we look forward to as many more as they want us to do.
Devin Platt is excited about the show's success, especially the fact that it's raising awareness and support and has been a tremendous recruiting tool for the Maine Game Warden Service. When we come back, the one thing Meredith, Jeff, and Lori of the Q Morning Show have in common. What is the one thing that Meredith, Jeff, and Lori from the Q Morning Show have in common? Their favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching Split Screen. For behind-the-scenes photos, including the shot of the turkey that Meredith, Jeff, and Lori cooked, and also to find out the episodes of Northwoods Law, what's to come, just go to shannonmoss.com.